ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सागणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम कृष्णपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय पादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषण्यवादी पाश्चात्य वाचालंबंगम लंघे दिगिरिम यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्री चैतन्येश्वरं। हरि ओम तत्सत्। हरे कृष्ण। Thank you all so much for joining. Today is uh, an adjustment of the class. Normally we'll do on Saturday. Today we are doing on Sunday, but because yesterday I had a Damodar program. Grace Nirmesh Prabhu and family hosted a wonderful Damodar program close to my home. Many of us were there, and we had a wonderful celebration. So we had to adjust the class to today, and also it so happens that it's also a very very wonderful occasion today to have this katha today. Even more auspicious because it is Kartik Ekadashi. So Kartik is wonderful by itself. Kartik Ekadashi is even more glorious, and it's the beginning of uh, the Bhishma Panchaka. So very very good. So somehow by Krishna's arrangement, you'll all get even more benefit by doing the katha today than yesterday. So yesterday is anyway Kartik, but today is even more glorious. Also the disappearance day of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. So all the more auspicious. So our humble obeisances. Namo Gaur Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murti. Pralambara Sambodhe Padambhojaya. For obeisances to all our acharyas by whose mercy today we have the opportunity to hear and discuss these glorious topics. So today we are discussing the 18th chapter of the 8th canto. We are discussing the beautiful pastimes of Lord Vamana Dev. We are discussing within the current Manvantara, which is the Vaivasvata Manvantara. Vamana Dev is the Manvantara avatar in this Manvantara. We are at that juncture of the pastime where Mother Aditi, being extremely dejected that all her sons, the Devas, have been driven out of heaven by Bali Maharaj, who has become so powerful by virtue of service to the Brahmanas, headed by Shukracharya, that she is so morose that she goes to her husband, Kashyap Muni, and requests him that, please tell me how I can help my children. So when she approaches her husband, very, very powerful personality, a great pure devotee, when she approaches him humbly, she's advised to observe the Payo Vrata, a 12-day Vrata, which comprises of very simple living for 12 days, drinking only milk and simultaneously worshipping the Lord very nicely for 12 days. Also serving the Brahmanas, serving the Vaishnavas for 12 days. At the end of the 12 days, we discussed in the last chapter how Lord Hari himself, being pleased with her, grants her darshan, and she's so overwhelmed by seeing the Lord. And the Lord tells her, in a sense, at the end of the last chapter, that I know what you want. You want good fortune for your children. But this is not the time to take on the demons head on. Because they are protected by the Brahmanas. The grace of the Brahmanas is on them. So I don't want to go against my own system. But at the same time, your desire must also be fulfilled. So my blessing to you is we are going to do it differently. He doesn't say it in those words, but the Lord suggests that I will appear as your son. And after appearing as your son, I will do my own pastimes in such a way that you will achieve your objective. That's what you want, right? You want the kingdom back. No? You don't have to tell me how to do it. So it's a very wonderful lesson for all of us. When we ask God what we want, of course, ideally we should only be asking for pure devotion. But nonetheless, when we are too harassed by problems, we go to the Lord. Okay, that's not too bad. As sadhakas, the Lord is our shelter. So sometimes we'll go and tell the Lord, oh Lord, this problem, this mess, help me. Okay. But the problem is not only we tell the Lord or ask the Lord for help, we also tell the Lord how He should help. Do this, then you do this, then you do this. You want me to be good devotee? Give me good job, give me beautiful wife, remove all my stresses and anxieties. Tick, 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 I'll be good devotee. And Krishna is laughing. We can't see him laughing, only if we could see him, then we would see him actually laughing. Oh, this Gaur Chandra Das is an idiot. He's telling me the formula for his entrapment and he thinks that will lead to his better devotional service. The Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a very beautiful verse. And we are going to come to that. We are actually discussing CC. This verse is very soon. The next class itself will be discussing this verse. Ama bhaje mage vishay sukh, amrita chhadiya visha mage sahi bada murk. He worships me and he asks for sense gratification, which means some kind of material welfare. Sahi bada murk, such a person is very foolish. Amrita chhadiya visha mage. He is giving up nectar of my devotional service and asking for poison. He is fool. So he is fool, but Ami Vigya, I am intelligent, I am not foolish. Why should I give him sense enjoyment? Basically meaning, why should I do things the way he wants? He thinks his good fortune lies in what he thinks is good for him, but I know what is good for him. Swa Charnamrita Diva Vishay Bhulaiva. I will give him the nectar of my lotus feet and make him forget all other considerations for Charna. So Krishna, being very kind to his devotees, he knows what is good for them. Krishna is not unwilling to fulfill the desires of his devotees. He is very happy actually, but he doesn't want to fulfill those desires which will cause more bondage. One, or even if he is willing to fulfill, he will fulfill in his own way, in his own system. Because for us, we are only concerned about ourselves. But Krishna, being the father of all living entities, has to consider everybody. And he has also to consider the system he has set up. He cannot openly go against his own system. So the Lord says, I will be your son and I will fulfill your desire, don't worry. So, Mother Aditi is very, very happy. Kashyap Muni is very, so happy. And the Lord appears in the heart of Kashyap Muni. Then from the heart of Kashyap Muni, he transfers himself to the womb of Mother Aditi. And we discussed towards the end of the last chapter how even Brahmaji, and the news spread all over the world. Aditi became effulgent, the news spread all over the world. The Lord is about to appear. Haribo. So Brahmaji also offers such beauty. So this particular chapter that we are about to discuss is where the continuation of that pastime. After Brahma had glorified the Lord in this way, glorifying the Lord, super excellent qualities. It is said the Lord decided to appear. And the Lord suddenly appeared out from the womb of Mother Aditi. Not like an ordinary human being. There was no labor pain. There was no appearance or birth in the way that typically happens for a small baby. It is said immediately the Lord appeared outside the womb of Aditi with 4 hands. Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. Beautiful, wearing Pitambar. With lotus-like eyes, decorated, already pre-decorated. There is already wearing the Makara Kundala with his helmet. Free from all inebrities in his Shama complexion. Blackish. Very beautiful with the Srivatsa mark on his chest and bangles and necklace and armlets and ankle bells and sacred thread around his shoulder, across his chest, with a belt on his waist. So beautiful. With a beautiful Vaishyanti garland hanging around his conch-like neck. Great effulgence in all directions. The Lord appeared. It was wow, Generally also, of course, this is very peculiar to the Lord's appearance. The Lord, even in his appearance as Sri Krishna, when he appeared from the womb of Devaki, there wasn't a normal delivery. The other children probably had normal delivery. The first 6. Then Balram was a miscarriage. Apparently, he was transferred by Yog Maya into the womb of Rohini. And the Lord, Supreme Lord personally, when he appeared as Krishna, he wasn't born through the normal way. He also, in a very similar manner, transferred himself from the heart of Vasudev to the heart of Devaki, into the womb of Devaki. And then he also appeared outside suddenly in his 4-armed Vishnu form, isn't it? If you recollect. And then he transformed into a small child. After Vasudeva, they go, oh, the Lord has appeared. Then finally he transformed into a small child. So I'm just drawing the parallel. This particular pastime also very similar. Suddenly appears with his effulgence vanquishing the darkness in all directions in the home of Prajapati Kashyap. It is said when the Lord appears, one of the commonly mentioned characteristics is the moment the Lord appears. And this particular pastime happened on the Shravana Dwadashi, the month of Shravan. Shravana Dwadashi, which is the 12th day, the Dwadashi of the bright fortnight, Shukla Paksha, in the month of Bhadrapad. At the auspicious moment of Abhijit Nakshatra, the Lord appeared. Vamana Dwadashi. It is said at that moment when the Lord appeared, the entire, all directions suddenly became peaceful and joyful. All directions, suddenly, it's like suddenly the environment transformed just by the Lord's presence. In everyone's heart, there was peace and happiness. All the seasons were showing their wonderful qualities, all living entities all over the world, upper planets, lower planets, the humans, the devatas, the cows, the brahmanas, the hills and the mountains, all were filled with joy. This is also one of the characteristics. Similar description is mentioned when Lord Krishna appeared. There's such a deep connection between the universe and the Lord. And that is why it is said, whenever the Lord is pleased, the whole universe is pleased. All living entities are pleased. So this is a very important principle that the Bhagavad enunciates. यथा तरोर मूल निषेचनेन तृप्यन्ति तत्स्कंद भुजोपशाखाः प्राणे प्राणोपहारा चैतेन्द्रियाणाम तथैव सर्वार्हणम अच्युत इज्ज. When the root of the tree of the Lord is water, the entire tree of existence, including all living entities, the whole world becomes happy. That is why those who are intelligent, yajnai sankirtanai jantihi, simply by pleasing the Lord through the very simple process of sankirtan, a devotee fulfills all his obligations because he pleases the devatas, he pleases all living entities. If we want true welfare for the entire existence, the best way to achieve that is watering the root of the tree. And in ways in which we cannot even understand. Just imagine, right? If we go to a tree and we put some water, we cannot actually relate. I put water and this leaf is now, shining so nicely. We may not be able to relate, but the whole process works. How the water is distributed is not our problem. That is part of the system. Our job is only to water the root of the tree. We go to every leaf and every twig and see what I can do to make it happy. That's not the process. That's why Krishna says the right process to make everyone happy is not to worship everyone individually. That is practically impossible. But to please the Supreme Lord, who is the root of all existence. Sarva Arhanam Achyuta Ijja. Everyone is worshipped when Achyuta is worshipped. All around the devatas are joyous, the apsaras are dancing. The kinnaras, panagas and the others, they are conch shells, kettle drums, various instruments. Big concert is going on. The devatas are happy also to see the Lord. The devatas are also happy that the Lord has appeared, means our problems are going to end. So it was a very beautiful scene when the Lord appeared. All kinds of heavenly denizens, the great sages, the devatas, the manus, the pitris, the fire devatas, the siddhas, the vidyadharas, the kimpurushas, the kinnaras, the charanas, the yaksha, the rakshasa, the suparnas, the nagas, all were showering flowers on the residence of Kashyap and Aditi. They covered the whole house. And everywhere there was glorification of the Lord and dancing. Jai, Jai, Jai. Suddenly from the womb he has appeared. Actually, in the heavenly planets, just to mention to you, in any case, birth of a child is not like the birth that happens on our planet. There is no prolonged pregnancy period where, the ladies move around for 9 months carrying the child in the womb. It's a very fast process where the child comes and appears very soon and there is no baby. You'll never hear in heavenly planets that there are small babies who are being carried around and fed Cerelac or baby food. They appear and they quickly, almost instantly, they grow up into young forms. So it's a very different system. Normally also in the heavenly planets. So there is no, the typical babyhood in the heavenly planets. So Kashyap Aditya is so fervent at seeing this beautiful form. It is said Prajapati Kashyap was loudly saying Jai, Jai, and happiness and wonder. It's not every other day that you get to see something like this, the Supreme Lord and appearing as his own son. And then, as all this beautiful glorification was going on, the Supreme Lord, who had appeared in his Chaturbhuja form in front of Kashyap and Aditi and everyone else, he transforms himself from this beautiful Chaturbhuj Vishnu form into the form of a dwarf brahmachari. All the sages are seeing, and they are saying this very cute, beautiful, effulgent dwarf brahmachari. That is why the Lord became known as Vamana. It's the dwarf, short. Everyone became so pleased. And everyone wanted to render service to the Lord. And immediately everyone assisted Kashyap and Aditi to perform the wonderful birth ceremony of Vamana Dev. So that was a wonderful celebration. And then very soon thereafter, it's not mentioned how many days, it said very soon thereafter, was for the dwarf Vamana, there was the thread ceremony. The Yagyopavita ceremony, the ceremony where the sacred thread is given. So it is said in this sacred thread ceremony for Vamana Dev, everyone knows, it's publicly known, he is none other than Vishnu. All the devatas gathered. Normally in the Upanayan ceremony in which the sacred thread is given along with the Gayatri mantra. Typically, the father will give the Gayatri mantra. Here, Suryadev himself came and gave the Gayatri mantra. The Gayatri mantra which is referring to the sun. Suryadev himself is giving. And all the great personalities are eager to do some service. Suryadev uttered the Gayatri mantra. Brihaspati gave the sacred thread. Kashyap Muni gave the belt. Brahmacharis. So the day that the Upanayan ceremony happens, along with the sacred thread and the mantras, different aspects of brahmachari life are conferred upon the newly initiated brahmachari, because that is the beginning of brahmachari ashram. That is the day when the disciple goes to the ashram of the guru and starts studying the Vedas. That is the traditional system. So he is given various things. There is a particular belt which is given, which is known as the Munja belt. It is made of a particular kind of a straw. Then the brahmachari is given a particular stick. The brahmachari is given a deer skin to wear. Bhumi Devi gave him the deer skin. Chandradev gave him the Brahma Danda. There's a small stick which the brahmachari is supposed to hold. His mother Aditi gave him the cloth for his kaupin. So there's a kaupin and then there is a deer skin covering. And Indra gave him the umbrella. Small umbrella. Remember Vaman Dev's chair? Small umbrella. There's a rod, there is a kamandalu, there's a deer skin, there is a yajna, all these things given by these great personalities. Kuvera, who's the king of the yakshas, he gave him a bowl for begging. Now begging is an English word because there is no proper equivalent. But in our traditional Vedic language, we say bhiksha. It is a brahmachari's right. Go to a grahastha and say, Bhavati bhiksham dehi, oh mother, give me some bhiksha. The brahmacharis are supposed to collect their bhiksha, go to the guru. They don't accept it for themselves. They go and give it to the guru and guru mata, and then all the students collect, and whatever is collected, cooked, offered, and distributed to the students. Mother Bhagavati, the wife of Lord Shiva, Parvati Devi, she was the one to give the first Diksha to this Dwarf Brahmana, the bowl which Kuvera had given. Kuvera normally gives wealth, but the wealth of a brahmachari is the begging bowl. Can you imagine? Kuvera is giving the begging bowl. It's quite interesting, isn't it? Because that is the wealth. So renunciation is wealth. Sometimes people think, oh, this person is poor. But being materially impoverished and spiritually rich is real wealth. When one is studying the Vedas, one is expected to have a very simple, austere life. Surrendered to the Guru. 25 years of one's life from the Upanayan ceremony, which typically happens between the age of 5 to 8, usually by 7, 8 years old. The child is just old enough to take care of himself and his basic needs. He can eat on his own, he can bathe on his own, do things on his own, 8 years old. Upanayan is done, he's sent to the Gurukul. He comes out only at 25. Lives also sleeps on the floor, serves the Guru. Brahmachari Guru Kule Vasan Vasadantam Gurur Hitam. The only duty of the brahmachari is to work for the benefit of the Guru. Guru says, sit down, eat. Guru doesn't call to eat, fast. Nothing. Study the Vedas and perform menial service. So, the staunch principles of renunciation, taking shelter of the spiritual master, the Lord, studying the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, simple living, high thinking is instilled right from very, very early age. And that is why it is possible for them, after going through Grahastha Ashram, to take Vanaprastha and Sannyas, because they are trained in renounced life in their early years. So in this way, Vaman Dev's wonderful Upanayan ceremony happened. Vaman Dev is known as the best of the brahmacharis, topmost brahmachari, Vamana Dev. So if anybody wants example of best brahmachari, Vaman Dev is the example. He was Lord Hari himself. His effulgence was spreading in all directions. The Upanayan ceremony, everyone was, so amazed because the Lord was so beautiful, so all the Brahmanas were like dazzled by amazing influence and effulgence of the Supreme. So having been a brahmachari, having received the Gayatri Mantra, one of the functions of the brahmachari is to do yajnas. So Lord Vamandev, he started his first yajna. He lit a sacrificial fire. He offered his worship and he did first yajnas. At that time, the Bhagavatam says very soon after the yajna ceremony, the news reached that Bali Maharaj is performing Ashwamedha Yajna. Now, if you remember, rewind. If you remember, after Bali Maharaj had driven out the Devatas headed by Indra from heavenly planets by virtue of the Brahma Tejas, the very same Brahmanas had advised Bali Maharaj, you have captured Indrasan, but you cannot maintain Indrasan unless you have the credit. So what is the credit to hold on to Indra position? 100 Ashwamedh Yajna. So don't worry, we know what to do. We will help you, but you better become qualified. So he agreed. And the Brahmanas were performing Yajnas. So the Brahmachari Vamana, he was very clear in his purpose. He had promised Mother Aditi, I am going to help you out. Help you out by getting the kingdom back for Indra, but not by direct conflict with the demons. Lord knew his purpose. So when the Lord heard about Bali Maharaj Ashwamedha sacrifices under the guidance of Shukracharya and the other Brahmanas in the area known as Bhrigu Kacha, which is situated on the northern bank of Narmada River, assisted by the descendants of Bhrigu, Vamana went there. They were so effulgent. So just imagine this scene, Ali Maharaj is there, Shukracharya is there, all these Brahmanas, the descendants of Bhrigu Maharaj are there, big yajna is going on, Ashwamedha yajna, such pomp and glory, and there comes on the scene this tiny but extremely effulgent Brahmana, Brahmachari, Batu. As it is said, the Bhagavatam describes, Shukadev Goswami is telling Parikshit Maharaj, as Vamandev approached the sacrificial arena, his effulgence was so much that the priests who were performing the yajna, they are like, Arey, another sun rising. Just like there is often a description, it's not mentioned here in this verse, but oftentimes Prabhupada will quote and the scriptures also quote, when the sun rises, all the small fireflies who are lighting up the sky in the dark, their effulgence becomes insignificant when the sun rises. So it is said so many effulgent Brahmanas were there in that assembly who were performing yajnas, very, very qualified people. But when Vamanadev appeared, his effulgence was so much that all these others, their splendor appeared insignificant in front of the divine splendor. It seemed as if Surya Dev himself had come. They were wondering, who is this? Is it Surya Dev? Is it Agni who has personally come? Is it the Sanat Kumaras who are so divinely effulgent? Who has come to see our yajna? So while they were discussing amongst themselves, who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Because the effulgence of the Lord was visible even before the Lord became clearly visible. Finally, as they were discussing this, the Lord approached the assembly and everyone could see that this effulgence is coming from this tiny brahmachari, Vamana, who's holding the Brahmadanda in one hand, the umbrella on his shoulder hanging, and the water pot, the Kamandalu in another hand. That Lord Vamana entered the Ashwamedha sacrifice. Very beautiful. Sacred thread, deer skin, matted hair, a belt around his waist made of sacred straw. As soon as everyone saw. So this is what happens when somebody is extraordinarily spiritually powerful. When an extraordinarily spiritually powerful personality comes into an assembly, sometimes we may not even know who that person is. But just by their aura, we know he's some great person. Have you noticed this anytime? The aura of those who are purified, it's such that they just come into the assembly, they carry around them an energy, a devotional aura, which immediately brings everyone to their attention and brings attention of everyone to them. So everyone stood up. A similar thing happened when Shukadev Goswami originally walked into the assembly where Parikshit Maharaj and all the great sages were there. So that his effulgence and influence was so much that everyone else seemed small. So everyone stood up for Shukadev Goswami. So everyone stood up. Who's this great Brahmana? Bali Maharaj noticed and saw this Brahmana boy. He was very happy to see the beautiful form of the Lord, his beautiful limbs. Bali Maharaj, with great respect, he honored him. Practical for some moments, for some time, everybody was in attention. Who's this great person? Everybody was waiting to see, and Bali Maharaj also got up and he received this Brahmana boy with great happiness. Bali Maharaj was genuinely happy and he offered him a seat. So after offering proper reception to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the giver of shelter to the liberated souls, Bali Maharaj started washing his lotus. So this is traditionally how a great Brahmana is worshipped. When a great saintly person, when a Brahmana comes to one's home, one offers him a nice seat, then washes his feet, uh, offers him worship, then offers him prasadam to eat and serves him, and then that is the system. So Bali Maharaj was happily doing that. He washed the Lord's lotus feet. Those lotus feet which the Bhagavatam says, Lord Shiva takes the water which has washed his lotus feet on his head. That pastime has not yet happened, is about to happen. Huh? Now the Lord is about to do that, isn't it? Huh? He's about to uh, bring the Ganges to this world from the water of the Karana Ocean. From his form is Trivikrama. But Shukadev Goswami is saying that Lord Shiva who takes the water, just touched the lotus feet of the Lord on his head. So if Lord Shiva is setting such a high example, what to speak of all of us? So he glorifies that Bali Maharaj also respectfully took the water which had washed the Lord's feet and sprinkled it his head. Then Bali Maharaj, very respectfully, he says to Lord Vamana, O Brahmana, thank you so much for coming. I am really welcome you with my heart and I'm offering you my respectful obeisances. You have come here all the way to this assembly where we are performing yajna. Please tell us, what is it that we can do for you? We can understand from your great aura and your great tej that you are austerity personified. You are a top class Brahmana, Brahmachari. And oh Lord, a great personality like you coming to my home is actually so auspicious. Because when saintly people come to one's home is purified. So Bali Maharaj, even though he is from a demon family, he knew always the value of great souls and Brahmanas. He is the descendant of Prahlad. He was very, in fact, his whole power came because of properly worshipping Brahmanas. So he was very familiar with the power and potency of great saintly people and how they must be treated and respected. So he says, my whole family has been purified, that the dust of your feet have touched this place and it has sanctified. And this Yajna this place, the Bhrigukacha area where this Yajna is being performed, that place has also become purified and Dhanya and has become complete now because of your personal. All my sins have been washed away by taking the water which has washed your feet. And what to speak of that? The very fact that your lotus feet are touching this earth, the earth itself has been. And then the last verse of this chapter, which is the climax of the end of this episode, is where Bali Maharaj asks Vamana Dev, it appears you have come all this way here specifically to the Yajnashala. Means you have some purpose, means you have come to ask something from me. Because a brahmachari who has come to a yajna donation is given to brahmanas. So you have come here, which means you have come to ask. So whatever you want, you can take from me. You are the most worshipable of all worshipable personalities. What do you want? Take from me. You want a cow? Take. You want gold? You want a house? Fully furnished house I can give you. You want nice food, nice drinks? You're a brahmachari, you want a girl in marriage, a nice qualified girl, a daughter of a brahmana, I can help to arrange one for you. Do you want prosperous villages? You want horses, elephants, chariots? Whatever you desire, you ask, I will give it. Saying this chapter, now is the interesting turn, because Bali Maharaj has offered to Vamana Dev, whatever you want, I will. This is exactly what Vamana Dev was waiting for. So this is how the Supreme Lord, he did the whole thing in such a way that nobody can blame him also, because the promise was given by Bali Maharaj himself. He didn't come and arm twist him. You have to give me whatever I want. He didn't put a gun to Bali Maharaj's head. Just went there. Nothing. He just went there. He worshipped his feet, and just by seeing his aura and influence and opulence, his stage, Bali Maharaj himself said, whatever you want. So the next chapter is the crux of this pastime. The Lord Vaman Dev will ask from Bali Maharaj, what is it that he wants? And so this is the very, very interesting part, and we'll discuss this the next Saturday. Also very interesting that when this entire discussion between Bali Maharaj and Lord Vamana happens, how Shukracharya reacts. Lot of lessons. Lot of lessons of what the Guru should not be. A lot of lessons of what a disciple should be. What is the essential focus of Krishna consciousness? The focus of Krishna consciousness is pleasing. One should never lose sight of that. So I'm going to stop here. It brings us to the end of this chapter. So let's take a few questions. We still have time. After that, we'll do Damodar Ashtaka. Let's quickly take a few questions. Yes, Amit Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Just a quick one. So you mentioned that Bali Maharaj was performing sacrifices on the banks of the Narmada. So Bali Maharaj was in the heavenly planets, no, in Indralok.
Yes. So it is said there is a Narmada flowing in the heavenly planets also. Just like Ganga flows in heavens and Ganga flows here, there is a Narmada in the heavens as well. That's what I have heard.
Okay, got it. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Anything else? Anyone wants to add, ask? Okay. Thank you very much. So it's a very, very auspicious day. So we are glorifying this beautiful pastime. So let us do Damodar Ashtaka. I'll not take too long. We'll do Damodar Ashtaka. We can end early today as Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasata Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashodabhiyalukaladavamanam Param Rishtamatyantato Dritya Gopya Rudantamuhurnetram Yugmam Rijantam Karambhoja Yugmaina Satankanetram Muhushwasakampa Rekhanka Kanka Sita Graivam Damodaram Bhakti Svalila Virananda Kunde Svadosham Nimajantam Bhaktyapayantam Tadiye Shitadneshu Bhaktairjitatvam Punaha Prematastam Chatavritvante Varam Deva Moksham Badhimva Nachanyam Vreneham Varishadapita Idam Teva Purnatha Gopala Balam Sada me manasya avirastam onnai idam te mukham bhojam masyantani vai kritam kuntalai snigdharataisya gopya muhushchumbitam bimbavattadaram me manasya avirastam malam lakshalabai Namo Devah Damodar Ananta Vishnu Prasida Prabho Dukha Jalabhinagnam Tripadi Krishnati Nambatani Gruhani Shamamagyam Nijyaksi Drishya Kuberatma Jauvata Mutyaiva Yadvat Vayamudritau bhakti bhajau kritau cha Tatha prema bhakti sakam me prayacha Namokshigraho me stiramodare Namastam suradipti dhamne Vadiyodharaya ka vishwasadhamne Namo Radhikayai Kvadiyai Priyayai Namo Karilaya Namamishwaram Sachi Danandarupam Lasatakundalam Gokule Vrajamanam Yashodabhiyolukhaladavamanam Param Rishtamatyanta Todritya Gopya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Damodar Bhagwan की जय चौथान एकादशी तिथि की जय कार्तिक एकादशी तिथि की जय श्री गौर किशोरदास बाबाजी महाराज की जय सामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय घंटरा श्रीमद् भागवतम. Thank you so much. So grateful to you to accommodate this Sunday evening. So another 4 days remaining for Kartik month. Please continue to offer lamps with great enthusiasm. Please continue to encourage others. And I'm hoping you're all keeping track because I'm going to ask you shortly to share your lamp offerings, whatever you have offered and whatever you have encouraged others to offer. So if you have not yet been penning it down, then please organize your numbers and I will reach out to you soon. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. I'll see you all on Tuesday evening. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you,
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you.
Dandavad Pranam, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.